Hello, Beachbody Champions page. Just gonna wait a few minutes. I decided to come on 2 minutes early to let some people jump in once I see that this is streaming and live and people are coming on. Just say hello when you log in, when you're on live. I wrote a little thing in the comments. If you could just tell us where you are logging in from, where you're working from. My name is Lori Miggins, and I was asked to run an action hour for you champions. So first of all, if you're in this page, the word champions is a pretty big word, and you should all feel amazing for being part of this champions page. I feel amazing for being asked to be here for all of you today. So thank you for having me. Thank you to Beachbody for asking me to run this action hour. But like I said, when you hop on, if you could just say hello and tell me where you're working from today, tag your sponsor coach so they know that you are getting some work done today. But what you should do is you should have your business activity tracker, you should have your workspace cleared out, and you should be ready to work. We have about an hour together, but we have about a minute until we'll get started. I see lots of my coaches checking in. Hello, hello. I see some others. I'm probably just going to ignore the chat so we can get to work. But first of all, what I want to say is you have a lot of daily to-dos in your coach life that you should be doing outside of this action hour. This action hour is meant for you to make the most of your time. And like I said in the post of this video, is it doesn't matter what you do in this hour. It matters what you do from what you learn in this hour. Take what you learn from all of these amazing action hours, and this one is going to be housed in the unit section of this page with all of the other action hours. So there is never, ever a reason for you not to know what to do. When you sit down to work your business, you've got so many tools right at your fingertips, but it doesn't matter how many tools you have, it matters what you do with them. So with that being said, let's get right to work. So you have daily to-dos outside of your action hour that you should not be wasting your time during this hour doing. And those are simple. Those are working out, those are drinking your shake in your performance line, your personal development, posting on social media, posting in your challenge group. We're gonna spend a few minutes doing that, but checking in on your challengers, like all of those things, posting to your stories, all of those things should be non-negotiables, and you really should figure out how to do those things outside of this action hour today. But the very first thing I want you to do, besides clearing your workspace, getting ready to spend the next hour with me, is centering yourself. And of course I have slides, but we haven't figured out how to do that live on here. So I'm gonna be looking at my slides, AKA my notes. So center yourself for the next 2 minutes. If that looks like praying, if that looks like listening to music, if that looks like reading the vision on the top of your tracker, do that. But what I like to do is every morning I read personal development, and I have this cute little journal that if something pops out at me in my personal development book, I write it here, because if I read it and then I write it, it sticks with me even more. And today was fantastic, and I'm gonna read it to you. I loved this. It's like 4 sentences. I am my own permission slip. Nobody's opinions of me holds more power than my own. Your success is completely dependent on your self-belief. If you're constantly talking about how things never work out for you, or how you don't have what it takes, that's what the universe is hearing. So as a result, that's exactly what your reality becomes. So if that sounds like you, if you're lacking the belief, if things aren't going the way you want, especially as it comes to coaching right now, because that's what we're focusing on, figure out what you can do to change that, because only you can change that. And by you being right here on this action hour, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching later on, you're here because you believe in yourself, and you should. So let's spend the next hour rocking this hour, and hopefully keep in mind a lot of these things that I'm going to do with you today, and there's only about 5 or 6 activities that we're going to do, but a lot of these things need more than 5 or 10 minutes. So if you find that you're doing something that you're like, okay, that I need to spend more time on, write it down, come back to it later when you have another pocket of time. But I built my business during nap time, when my baby was napping, when my other 2 were at school. So this can be done with pockets of time. So the first thing I want you to do is, and it's called Be a Good Coach. I'm gonna set my timer for 5 minutes, and I have an old school timer right here. We're gonna set it for 5 minutes, and what I want you to do is I want you to spend 2 minutes Checking in your coach online office. You would be surprised at how many of my coaches tell me they only look at their coach online office when they get an order or once a week or Wednesday night because Thursday is rank advancement day. No, you should be checking your online office at least once a day, especially when you are in qualification time or something like that. But 2 minutes, log into your online office. I want you to look for anything pressing. I want you to look at coach breaking news. And then for 2 minutes after that, I want you to check into your challenge groups, which you should be hosting a bod group. So go into your bod group, go into your challenge group. This is your time to support, check in with your workout if you haven't done that yet. Support all the people that have checked in so far. Use the tracker. On the back of the tracker, I don't know if many of you know this, but on the back of your Success Club tracker, which is housed in the file section, it was just updated yesterday, the brand new one. I have it highlighted where it says bod groups. It says bod groups now. Beachbody is on it. On the back is the Shakeology Follow-Up. I want you to take 2 minutes after you look in your coach online office when you're in your challenge groups to check in on all of your people that are drinking Shakeology. This back here is for you to follow up with your Shakeology people and talk to them about their health goals. And there's a little box to check in on them for the first 4 weeks and then the second month and the third month, because we want to keep checking in and making sure that they are blending it correctly, that they are drinking it every day. I tell my challengers all the time, Shakeology, it's like brushing your teeth. You might feel great, but that doesn't mean you stop. Just like brushing your teeth, you go to the dentist, he says you don't have any cavities. That doesn't mean you stop brushing your teeth. That means you continue to do it. So 5 minutes, I'm going to set the clock, check into your coach online office, and check into your groups. And I don't think I can mute this, so you might hear me breathing. Or sniffling or coughing. Okay, about 1 more minute. So you should be finishing up looking at your challenge groups, checking in, checking out your coach online office. 1 minute. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is you probably didn't get through your challenge group. You probably did not respond to everyone and support everyone, and that's okay because this is just building the foundation for you to at least get an hour of work done. Make a note on your tracker of things you need to do later, but hopefully you were able to do something of what I said in that. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to do what I like to call no comment or like left behind. So this is going to take about 10 minutes. You should have a post or two up in the last day or two on either your Instagram or your Facebook. And by someone liking your posts on Instagram or Facebook, and especially if they're leaving a comment, that is the perfect time for you to reach out to them. Now, I'm not saying you have to throw an invite at them because you're going to learn over this next 50 minutes that I'm not a heavy inviter. I have built my business on simply making connections and communicating and sharing, and then it leads to a healthy conversation, and then the invite happens naturally. So we're not going to do a lot of cold invites on this hour with me. I hope that doesn't upset you. There's nothing wrong with doing that. It's just not how I've built my business. And I think I've done pretty well doing that. So if that's something that you're interested in, then this is going to help you keep your funnel full of people that you're talking to. So the first thing we're going to do is you're going to go to your last post. Hopefully you have a post somewhere in the last day or two about fitness or nutrition, where you're talking about your challenge group or your health journey. I want you to thank them for their support. Here's the time, if the time is right for you to invite them. So if you did a business post, if you did a challenge group post, thank them for their support. If you've messaged them several times in a row, thanking them for that support, it's probably time for you to say, hey, have you ever thought about joining me? If it's the first time they've liked or commented on your post, just say, hey, thanks so much for the support today on my post. I really appreciate it. You know, are you on a health and fitness journey too? Or it's really hard for me to put myself out there. I really appreciate your support. You know, I'm in a community of women. We do life together. We have a blast. Have you ever thought about joining me? However, you should have some sort of an invite tucked away in your toolbox, on your note section of your phone, but this is your time to go out and like and love on all the support on your posts on Instagram and Facebook and start getting people into your inbox. Start conversations with them. So we're going to spend the next 10 minutes doing that.
So we have about 5 minutes left, and as you're going through your Instagram or your Facebook post and thanking people for their support, there's nothing wrong with thanking other coaches that are giving you support, but just check out their feed before you send them a message. If they're another coach, you don't want to invite them to your challenge group. So check them out, see who they are. And like I said, if you've had a conversation going for a while with them and you keep thanking them for supporting you, maybe it's time for that invite of you saying, hey, have you ever thought about joining me? Because you've certainly been watching me.
All right, finish up your last few and we'll move on to the next. I didn't even get to Facebook. I'm on Instagram right now. So this is the time when you might want to write yourself a note to either finish, reaching out to the people that supported that post, or you still need to check your Facebook post. But these are also things that you can be, fitting into your day, random times, when you're sitting after this quarantine list, if you're sitting in the car rider line or you're picking up your child at dance practice or soccer practice and you're sitting in the car, these are a lot of activities that you can do later on. You don't need to be sitting at your desk. You don't need a lot of things to do. Also, something that you should be doing if you're not doing already, my timer's about to go off. All of these people that you're starting to make connections with, as you continue to talk to them, put them in what's called collections. If you don't know what collections are or how to make collections, that's a whole other training. Really, it's simple. Just YouTube it after this, but it's a way to organize your conversations on Instagram. It's a way to save someone's account, because you can't organize your message box, your direct message in Instagram. So this is a way to save people and also to go and make sure that you are building connections with them and following them and liking their posts every day. I have a collection in my phone right now called May Future Challengers, putting it out there in the universe, that these are people that I am making connections with. Maybe there's some that I started talking to in April and I moved them over to this folder. It's kind of like a manila folder that you can put all these people in, and you can make sure that you're liking and loving their stuff and commenting, and it's called a collection. And it's the little arrow at the bottom of the post. It's like a bookmark, and you can hold it down and it asks you if you want to save it, or you can save it somewhere and you can save it to a collection. But YouTube that to figure out how to make collections. So the next thing we're going to do, again, for 10 to 15 minutes, this is like, of the action hours that I've done, this is the most favorite part of the action hour. So this is the part where I really like to spend a big juicy hunk of my action hour. It's right in the middle. So we're going to spend about 10 to 15 minutes on this one. And this is one that you can do at any time of day, wherever you are. But this is Instagram growth. This is growing your followers so that the activity we did right before this, all the people that are liking your pictures and commenting, that will get higher from doing this. So you will be able to start more conversations from people that are supporting you, but you have to do this first. So it's like a funnel. If you can't do one without the other. So this is the Instagram growth part. So I want you to, and if you're not doing this already, you should be doing this. You should be following at least 2 to 3 accounts that you truly resonate with. Not coaches, not even anything having to do with fitness and nutrition, but just 3 accounts that you resonate with. I have a few bloggers that I love following. I have a few recipe people that I love following. I have just a few Etsy creators that I love following. And I want you to go to those accounts. Again, you can keep a collection of the people that you like to follow and put them in there. So pick one right now for the sake of this activity. And if you get done with one, go to another one. Pick one of them. And I want you to go to, the thing is that their followers, if you're following an account, their followers that are following them, they're probably a lot like you because they like this account too. So I want you to go to the person, the account that you're following, that you really love, that you look forward to looking at every day. And it might just be someone that puts up an awesome quote every day. I follow this person that shares a lot about grief, and the quotes are incredible. And most likely the people that are, because I struggle with grief, if you know my story, that's for another time. A lot of the people that are following that person's account are struggling with the same things that I struggled with. So go to their last post, probably from this morning or yesterday. Go to the people that are commenting and liking on that post, okay? So go through those people that are liking and commenting on that most recent picture and look for people that are like you, that would look like they would be your friend. And you've probably heard this terminology 531 or 321 or whatever you feel comfortable with. I like the 321, which is basically like 3 of their pictures, comment on 2 of them, and then follow them. And hopefully they will follow you back. This is where it's a really good idea to keep a list or whatever. I am a huge paper and pencil and highlighter list person. Then once I get their email, I put them into Streak where the conversation gets real. But for the sake of just starting out, there's nothing wrong with lists on paper. So go to one of your favorite accounts, go to their last post, and let's spend 10 to 15 minutes. When you get through one account, go to another one, but you should do 1 to 3 accounts. And you need to do this every day. You should be adding between 5 and 10 people to your monthly collection. Here's where you can have that May collection, and maybe you even start a June future challengers because you're just starting these with these people that you're looking to follow. So let's do that. I wish I could mute. Oops. All right, you have about 2 minutes left, so finish up the people that you're following. This is a really fun activity, and you can end up down like rabbit holes, and you can forget where you even started. But this is a really great activity that is going to fill your funnel naturally. And what we did right before this, like I said, the people that are liking and supporting your posts come from here, hopefully. They're going to give you a follow back. You have a genuine connection with them. You just added about 5 to 10 people to your monthly collection, to your network. Hopefully they will follow you back. Hopefully you followed people that, I love when I find someone and I'm like, oh my gosh, of course you have that, because I like that. You have that. And you'll find and you'll make some incredible connections. I mean, 2 of my closest and dearest rock star coaches on my team, Missy and Jackie, if you're watching, shout out to you guys. I met them on Instagram cold. And we have so much in common and we get along incredibly. And it's because Instagram works when you use it correctly. So this part can be really, really fun and tedious all at the same time. And one of those things that's so annoying, but once you just dive in and start doing it, you really will watch your followers and your Instagram grow naturally. And it's really fun because you're following people that you want to follow, that you know were meant to be in your life. So if you do this religiously every day, adding new people to your network, it's right on your business activity tracker. You will naturally be able to do what we did before this, and you will be able to do what we're going to do right now, which is our next activity. So now what I want you to do is I want you to, on Instagram, and this is on Instagram pretty much mostly. If you're not on Instagram, you need to be, but you can do a lot of these things on Facebook as well. What we're going to do now is we are going to do Instagram Connects with new followers. So for 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes, what I want you to do is go to your account and go to your followers, and on your profile page, if you click on followers, it puts the people that have followed you most recently at the top. So what you're going to do is you're simply going to welcome and connect with them. They're following you for a reason. So you should have some sort of a snippet or a note section in your phone where you can copy and paste and just say, thank you so much for following. I love getting to know new people. What inspired you to follow me? Or one of my favorites is, hey, I hate hey girl. So hey, whatever their name is, look at and see what their name is. People like to be called by their first name. So hey, Julie, thanks so much for following my page here on Instagram. I appreciate that you're a real account and not one of those random bots. Are you working on your health and fitness too? Because so many people are getting those silly bots that comment on your polls and your stories, right? So that usually sparks a conversation like, oh, those bots are so annoying, and then a conversation is naturally started. So those are 2 of my examples that I use, but look to see if it's someone that you actually want following you, that you actually want to connect with. Welcome them, say hello, and always end with a question. What inspired you to follow along? If you just say, oh, thanks for following me, great. The people are just going to say, okay, great, and move along. But if you ask them a question, then you will get a response and it will start a conversation naturally. So let's spend about 10 minutes. We're making good time. So let's spend 10 minutes doing that, welcoming your new followers. And if you don't have a lot of new followers, go back and do the last activity because you never, ever run out of that. if you don't have a lot of new followers at the top and you come to a point where you're like, okay, I already welcomed this person, keep scrolling. I guarantee you've missed tons of people. Like, just keep scrolling and welcome them. They're following you, they're still following you. There's no reason you can't thank them for following you and ask them why they're following you and reach out and say hello. And also, when you're going through your new followers, you may find someone that you haven't added to a collection yet. You may come across someone that's like, oh, goodness, I need to keep reaching out to her. She looks just like me. So there's never a wrong time to add to your collections folders. All right, 2 minutes while you finish this up. You can see how this, did I put what you're doing? Yeah. You can see how this is going to keep filling your funnel. And this is the part that's really fun because these people are following you and you're just simply starting connections and you're saying hello to these people. And later on in an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours tomorrow, you're going to have a lot of messages in your inbox because of what you just did just now with the last 3 activities we did. So I can't stand when I hear coaches say, I don't know what to do. My inbox is empty. If you're not doing those 3 activities that we just spent the last 30 minutes doing, then your inbox is going to stay empty. You're like a farmer, really. If you don't plant the seeds, if you don't water the seeds, if you don't put some Miracle Grow on the seeds, if you don't cultivate, you're not going to have anything to actually pick and bring to your challenge group. So you have to constantly keep planting the seeds, constantly keep cultivating so that your inbox stays full. And it makes this job so fun because you're constantly connecting with people. So my timer is going to go off in 50 seconds, but we will move on to our next activity. This is for your connecting again with your current followers, but these are people that not necessarily, not your new followers that you just welcomed, but these are people that you are currently following. So I want you to scroll through the stories at the top of your page, and always whenever you start over with an activity with your Instagram, you want to go back to, your following page and refresh by swiping down, and it refreshes everything and everyone that you just did. So at the top, you should have the people that you're following. I always have Carl Deichler up there. He's always like one of the first ones if he has a story. Autumn, a lot of my coaches. So right now, for the sake of this, you're going to skip through, your coaches and those kind of people. And what I want you to do is I want you to deliberately respond to the non-coaches, and not even your clients right now. This is for the people that you're following so that you can start engagements. You can start putting them in collections if they're not in collections already. So you're going to scroll through those stories. You're going to comment. You're going to connect. You're going to answer their polls. Again, you're going to make yourself seen. This is also a great opportunity if you see someone that's doing something to start a conversation or reach out to them. Maybe they're working out, but they're not doing Beachbody. This is a great time for you to be like, hey, we're following each other. We've been chatting. You see where I slip inviting in without like sitting down and being like, okay, we're about to invite 50 people. So it depends on each individual person and on you if you feel ready to invite them. But if it's someone that you're constantly watching every single day and they go for a run and then they do some random YouTube workout or they eat healthy, but you don't see them doing or following a Beachbody program or anything of that nature, that is the perfect opportunity for you to say, hey, I've been watching you. You're doing these amazing things. You should join my team. So let's spend the next 5 minutes for the sake of time, and then we will wrap up. Oh yeah, so also after you finish watching some coaches' stories, if you want to scroll through your own story also, you can do that. Anyone that's responded to any of your polls and questions, and if you're not using those things on Instagram, you definitely should be. So you can respond to people that are watching you, and you can respond to the stories that you're watching. We're going to do that for the next 5 minutes. Oh, I'm just going to answer a couple questions. Do you ever follow people that have accounts that are private? I do. If I can look at their profile picture, if they're following me and their profile is private, then they're following me. So I want to follow them too. And if the profile picture isn't some, psycho crazy guy that if it's a middle-aged woman that looks like me, if I can see a kid in the background or, I will follow them back for sure. And then you can start seeing their account. I'm just going to scroll through real quick. I don't really see too many questions. Let's get to work.
All right, that flew by. So you can see that that's probably a place where you have to revisit to start conversations with people that are watching you and people that you're watching and following. Something came to mind. Oh, also, you might come across people in your stories that you're constantly thanking them for the support and you don't see, like at the bottom where it says seen, like the message has been seen. If it hasn't been seen, they obviously don't know they have a direct message box. So it's a good idea, like once a week or a couple times a week, to talk about that. Be like, I see you guys watching me in my stories. Did you know that you have a direct message inbox? And show them where it is, like point, and then like circle it in the top right corner so you're pointing to it. Be like, guys, you're watching me, I'm messaging you. Check your direct message inbox in Instagram. You'd be surprised at how many people, my husband, didn't know that he had an Instagram direct message inbox. So talk about it in your stories, like all these things, like, I see you watching me, people, and sending you a message. Write me back. I'd love for you to join me. They are watching you. Instagram is like your house, right? And all of your pictures on your personal page is like the windows. It's like walking down Main Street in Manhattan, right? And during Christmas, and the windows of Macy's are all decorated, and you walk into the store. So your front of your Instagram is like your windows, and they're window shopping. And if they're gonna watch your stories, they are walking into your store, into your house. You have every right to talk to them as if they're right there in your house. So don't be afraid to do that. So the very, very, very last thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna spend 3 minutes, and I'm sorry for going over, it's 2:01, but I want you to go and be a good coach again. We start this hour by being a good coach. We end this hour by being a good coach. So I want you to go to your team page. Your team page. If you have your own team page, great, go there. If you are part of a downline where you have an amazing upline that has a team page, go there right now. So you should have split screen. You should have 2 Facebooks open. Go to your team page. Check for any new announcements. It is so important to refresh your team page and see what's new. Maybe your upline posted it, pinned it at the top, but check for anything new that's going on and tag your peeps to anything that's important. If you have your team within your upline's team, make sure that you're tagging them so that they see all those announcements. Reach out to another coach on your team and thank them and compliment them
for their inspiration today. Maybe someone posted something awesome in there today, but just go out and give someone a compliment. It feels really, really good. And your challengers need it, but your coaches and your team page need it too. And that's how amazing connections and friendships are formed in your team page if you lean in. You have to go in there. I hate hearing from coaches that are like, I'm not really part of a team. Did you try to be part of a team? Did you try to lean into your PS coach or your PS or whoever, wherever you are? Because none of us are orphans. All of the amazing leaders have team pages that they want you to be a part of. So that little start upline in your coach online office, contact them. If you're sitting and you don't have a coach that's active, contact that upline diamond, because they will welcome you with open arms to their team page. And then the very last thing I want you to do is I want you to update your business activity tracker. I want you to take this, and I have mine bound. Carl always tells us to print out 52 of them in the beginning of the year and put them in a book, and that's what I do. I go by this. Check off all the things we did today, because we did a lot. We didn't necessarily use it to check off, but we did a lot of the things on here, so make sure you're checking off what you did today. Be proud of the accomplishments that you made. And no matter when you're watching this, if you're watching it live, if you're watching it later, working your business is part of what you do every day. Working your business is not something that you want to keep hidden. It's something that you want to be proud of. So get out your phone, take the challenge a step further and video it, or just snap a picture of you on a live power hour with a leader of the network that is training you and teaching you, because we have tools, and hashtag it Coach Life, but share about the coach opportunity. Don't just share about your fitness and your shake and your family. Share about what you're doing as a coach too. You just spent an hour with me working your business because you're trying to grow it. Share it. The only way to grow your business is to share it, because people want to know what you're doing. So that is the end of this action hour. I hope it was great. Go watch it again, tag your coaches, share it with your coaches. But I want to just leave you with, just believe in yourself, and anything is possible. I would love for you to create a goal for yourself, set a date to that goal. If Emerald is your goal, it better not be by the end of, August. It better be by the end of May. Like, set a goal and make it huge, and you will get there by doing these things daily. So thank you guys for being live with me today, and have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.